Hey y'all, Star Trek Into Darkness. Star Trek into awesome movie-ness. I don't even know where to begin. This is a great movie. Um, Much talked about, much hyped, and here it is. It's out, it's loud and proud, and it's amazing. Um, I'll just give my quick thoughts on the first Star Trek movie. The first Star Trek movie I thought was amazing. It was like a good reboot to, a well-respected series. It was well casted, well acted. Abrams, okay, the lens flares, yeah, are questionable, but I don't know. Just he does good with what he can. My only really gripe about the first one was I didn't think the villain was like I thought he was good, but not really like up there with like great Star Trek villains. Um, but still good nonetheless. And I like Leonard Nimoy's good in it. Speaking of which, Leonard Nimoy, you have a great cameo in this. Don't really know if that's much of a spoiler because you can once you see him you'll see him. But I'm going to try to make this as spoiler free as possible because there is a lot that happens in this movie. Anyways, the movie starts off on some native planet where which sort of sets up one of the, I guess, themes presented in this movie, which I don't really have a name for. anyways, the crew of the Enterprise are on some native alien or on some planet, and they're trying to carry out some mission. They're trying to save the planet by this volcano is about to erupt, and they have to stop it. But they can't show technology to the natives or anything, show what they look like, because it could interfere with them. It's great what happens. Things go a bit eerie, but then what it is, Spock gets trapped in the volcano wearing a huge suit, like a suit that just protects him, and he thinks he's gonna die. Anyways, they actually expose himself to the aliens, like the Enterprise, and then Spock is rather, being the way he is, he's like, you defied all manner of regulation. You defied all manner of regulations. I don't even know where to begin on this. And he's like, you know what? I saved your life. Just end it at that. But then it's sort of this whole notion, if Spock was in Kirk's place and Kirk was in Spock's place, would Spock have saved Kirk? Probably not, but we don't know. And that's sort of one of the running ideas throughout this movie. Then we jump to London, where we see a couple, and what it is, their daughter is in the hospital. Then we're introduced to, oh my God, Benedict Cumberbatch as John Harrison. Holy shit, that guy can act. I've watched a couple episodes of Sherlock, but holy shit, that guy can act. And that voice, oh man, what I'd do to have a voice like that. It's this incredibly deep, bass voice. It's kind of like the white version of James Earl Jones, and well, he's really tall. Benedict Cumberbatch. You search Ben, it's the first thing that comes up on Google. He's really tall, actually. And really, really serious acting. What was I about to say here? But anyways, he sort of helps this couple and brings their daughter back just using his own blood, interestingly enough. But then the father, he gets the guy's ring, and then by putting in a glass of water by accident, the thing explodes, and he just so happens to be at work at and then the whole place where he works explodes and creates a massive explosion in England. But apart from that, so then what it is, the crew of the Enterprise decides to go after him. But first, Kirk gets a bit of some demotion, and he gets demoted, loses the Enterprise. Alright, I think I'll save it up to there for spoilers, maybe. But the trailers for this film, I think, I'll just take a bit of a line from Jeremy Johns. This film isn't very simple though. It's not like, okay, this guy's done something bad and we're gonna get him. It's more of like, okay, well, that does happen, but then it gets interesting. And there's this notion of torpedoes that's brought up. Kind of what it is. Starfleet equips the Enterprise with these special torpedoes. Um, there's notion of that. Some interesting things happen, but holy shit, Chris Pine, that guy can act. I've only seen a few of his other films, Unstoppable, This Means War. He hasn't really been in anything. Like he's been in a couple good films I like, but he hasn't really like wowed me yet. But this guy has like just get one good look at his eyes and you can see everything in there, in his eyes. What's going through his head, what he's thinking, and just everything. Yeah, the cast is perfect. As always, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, John Cho, Carl Urban, Simon Pegg, Anton Yelchin, everyone really. Um, by the way, Nolan North, I saw your cameo. I was kind of just like, oh my god, it's Nolan North. Uh, yeah, it's pretty big for Nolan North. It's pretty big for Nolan North to be in like a huge film like this. I mean, he only had like 2 3 lines I think, but he's in it nonetheless, and hell, I recognized him. Um, but what they do with Benedict Cumberbatch, John Harrison, is really just fascinating. Um, and what how the film sort of plays out, and um, I'm trying to find something to compare this to with. The obvious comparison is The Dark Knight, which Abrams said they took a lot of inspiration from, which you can really see that. And this is interesting. The film is dedicated to 9/11 veterans. A lot of people other related to 9/11, like families of victims. There is a lot of like I guess political subtext in a sense. Like you can kind of see that this guy's kind of like a modern day, almost like a modern day Bin Laden, really. Well, like a futuristic Bin Laden kind of type. And the political stability of Starfleet is brought into question, and it gets really fascinating. Kind of what Starfleet's sort of after, and what this guy's after. John Harrison's after. Um, and but the thing I like about what they do with the crew of the Enterprise, they're kind of like they really don't what it is. The Kirk decides to go after John Harrison, and what it is they're sort of what it is Starfleet's kind of on the brink of war with hold on one second. Starfleet is sort of on the brink of war with the oh god, if I can remember what they're called. Klognians, hold on. Oh, Klingons. On the brink of war with Klingons. And John Harrison takes refuge on the planet Klingon, on a Klingon planet Kronos, Klingon homeworld of Kronos. But it's I don't really want to say too much. I'd say watch it and tell me what you think. Really, it really got to me sometimes. I was kind of on the verge of tears a few times, and I give it a 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was very good. It's much worth the wait. I do like the first one more, but this film does improve on a couple aspects. Like one, it has just a fantastic villain. Benedict Cumberbatch, that guy can act, and that guy has quite the voice as well. Um, and Chris Pine's amazing. Zachary Quinto's good. Just the entire cast. J.J. Abrams, cut it out with the lens flares. I'm sorry, I couldn't. My eyes started hurting after a while. I didn't see this 3D. I saw it 2D. I'm curious what this looked like in 3D because there were some fantastic looking, like, just shots and just everything really. Um, at times hilarious. Oh, I also like what they do with Scotty. Um, Simon Pegg is great as usual. Um, don't really have much else to say. Oh, Alice Eve is hot. Just gonna say that. And has, I think, one of those that. What's that eye condition where you have two different color eyes? Like one eye is green, one eye is blue. And I kind of noticed that. I'm just like, oh, there's two different color eyes. Cool. Um, uh, don't know what else to say, I guess. Very good film. Recommend it. And it's has a spot on my favorite films of this year so far. Or best films of this year so far, or whatever. But I've been seeing a lot of the films I want to see this year, I guess, really quickly, I guess. Um, uh, don't know what else to say, I guess. Very good, and I recommend it, so see you later.